Hi everyone, so if you couldn't tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking to you guys all about products that unfortunately I regret buying. I just wanted to do a little disclaimer as well. I work in a department store where they sell higher end brands, so a lot of the products that I own are higher end products just because that's the environment I work in, and those are the products I tend to be a little more inspired by. So most of the products I'm going to talk to you guys about today are higher end products. There are a couple cheaper drugstore products in there, but just a disclaimer that most of them are high end products. Product I'm going to talk to you guys about today. I'm not doing these in any specific order, I'm literally just picking one out of the pile and I'm going to talk to you guys about it. And the first one is this one. This is the Christian Dior Backstage Eye Prime, and I believe this only comes in one colour. I've had a couple different eye primers before. I've had the Urban Decay clear one, and I've also had the Givenchy's Ombre Couture. Out of all of them, my favourite has been the Givenchy, just because I find it to be really smooth and silky, and it doesn't crease or anything like that. This one by Dior, I just find to be really dry, and you really have to kind of like work it in. So you kind of have to really get in there with your finger and warm it up before applying it to your eye. And if you kind of don't do that, it can go really bobbly, and it just doesn't really look as smooth on the eye as some of the other ones I've tried. So this is one that I won't be rebuying again, because I just feel like, as much as I love the way the packaging looks, I think it looks beautiful, I just feel like there are much better ones out there that you could spend your money on. The next product is a Chanel product. To be honest with you guys, I haven't really had much luck with Chanel. There's not really been a huge amount of things that I've really loved from Chanel. It's one of those brands I want to love, but I just don't feel it. It's a weird brand for me. This is actually a product that I got for my birthday. This was not last birthday, but the birthday before. And this is the LeBlanc Creme de Chanel, and this is in number 63, a Revelation. It's a really, really beautiful, pinky, slightly peachy pinky colour, and I love the fact that it's really kind of creamy. It's a really, really lovely product. Let me just swatch it so you can have a little see. Just feel like when it's on my cheeks, it looks really, really obvious. It just makes me look like I've just fallen over and I'm really embarrassed or something. It's just not, it doesn't, I mean, it's really great that it's pigmented, but it just doesn't look quite right, and I just find myself not really grabbing for this one. Yeah, I just don't feel like it really suits my skin. It just doesn't really sit overly well. The next product is actually one of the drugstore products. This is the Loreal Brow Artist Plumper, and it's one of those brow things that comes with the little sort of mascara wand applicator, and I kind of wanted to try something different. I've been using pencils and gels and powders on my brows for ages, and I kind of wanted to try something a little bit different. I get quite droopy brows, so anything to kind of set them usually works pretty well, but I just didn't really get on with this. I found that it kind of adds quite a lot of volume to your brows, which is great if you don't really have many hairs on your brows, but my brows are quite thick anyway, so I don't really feel like it did anything for me, and I still felt like I had to fill them in with a pencil anyway, so there wasn't really much point in having this. I didn't really like the way it dried as well. It dried quite hard on my brows, and although I like my brows to be in place, I felt like they just felt very hard and like almost like they'd been gelled in place, and I just wasn't really a huge fan of that one. The next product is also, unfortunately, a Chanel product, and this is the Soleil Tan de Chanel. I really wanted this product because it's one of those cult products that everyone that loves Chanel always talks about. It's always what people talk about in kind of the top 3 Chanel items, and you can use this in so many different ways, which is why I got it. You can use it as a base for your makeup, you can use it as a contour, as a bronzer, and I really like how like, it's almost bouncy. I do really like the consistency of it, but I just feel like it kind of went a bit patchy, and it didn't really sit right. I kind of had to really build it up quite a lot, and then when I did, it would just kind of go patchy and fade off, and it just didn't look as nice as some of my powder bronzers. So for me, I think creams just don't really sit well on my skin, whether they're blushes or bronzers. I just feel like I get on much better with powders. So this is kind of one of those products that's been sitting around for a good year and a half, and I've tried to use it, but it just doesn't really look great. There are two skincare items that I wanted to talk to you guys about. One of them I still have, which is the Bare Minerals Pure Transformation Night Treatment, and the other one I actually threw away, which is the Sunday Riley Good Genes Treatment. With the Bare Minerals, I love the concept of it. I love that it's kind of like a powder that you apply. So it's got a really cool little brush on, and you kind of put a powder on your face and you sleep in it. It's meant to make your skin really radiant, it's meant to kind of clear it up, and they all come in different colours. I got the colour Clear. You can get like light, medium, and loads of other colours to choose from as well. I just felt like this didn't really do loads for my skin. It was a little bit of an unnecessary step, especially if you're like me and you love your skincare, and you know, I was doing so much to my skin at the time. I felt like this wasn't really making enough difference to be kind of needed. For some people I know it really works, but I just feel like it's an unnecessary step in my personal skincare routine. And when I stopped using it, I didn't feel like I really had to go back to it. And I just feel like putting a powder on your face is weird at night. I feel like that should be reserved for the daytime. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice product, it just wasn't for me. Sunday Riley Good Genes Treatment. I heard so many amazing reviews about it, and I really wanted to try it. But I just felt like it stung my skin. It did make it look a bit nicer, but for the amount of redness and pain that it caused my skin when I applied it, I just felt like it wasn't really worth it. It didn't really do loads to it. I mean, I paid quite a lot for it. I think it was close to £80 or £90 for this serum, and it smelled horrific. I loved that it was a natural product from a really natural company, but it really stung my skin and really irritated my skin. And I'm not usually one to have really sensitive skin, so I think it was just too much for my skin, so I just kind of stopped using it and my skin kind of settled down a little. The item I'm going to talk about is a palette, and it is from Kiko. It's one of the build it yourself palettes, which I love the concept of. I love that you can kind of chop and change around your colours. I love the kind of click system where you kind of take them out and then you just click them in. And I love how big the eyeshadows are. I think that's a really good feature. I just don't like the texture of the eyeshadows. I feel like, especially the white, it's really chalky. It's soft, which is great, but it's almost chalky. So when you blend them, I feel like if you really want to have that kind of seamless look, you blend them and they just fade away because they're so soft and they're so chalky. You kind of keep having to reapply them to get the look. So yeah, I don't really reach for them, but I mean, I love the colours. I love this colour especially, this kind of dusky pink colour. It's beautiful, but I just feel like the texture's a little bit off for my liking. Now we have another Dior product, which makes me really sad because I love Dior, but this for me was a huge letdown. This is the Dior Show Art Pen, and it was in a limited edition colour, which was the Blue Crossier, number 385. This was part of their summer collection last year. And it's a beautiful colour. It's almost like that sky kind of bluey colour. It's really nice. But I just feel like it's not an easy product to apply. This goes for all the art pens. I feel like you're kind of putting them on and they kind of rub themselves out in a way. They're not easy to apply. You kind of have to keep going over it, and you have to kind of almost put it on your hand like this and kind of work it in the ink. and then apply it, which I think's kind of pointless if you're buying a pen form. So unfortunately I don't like the art pens, and I loved this colour so much on the back of my hand, but it just doesn't look good on my eye. The next product is a lipstick. This is the Bobbi Brown lip colour, and I think this is a limited edition colour in neon pink. I don't know if they still do this one. And it's a really, really cool bright pink colour, and I used to wear this all the time when I had blonde hair. I actually ended up buying this product when they didn't have the Chanel one that I wanted in stock, which was this one. I ended up getting it in the end. This one here. So they are quite similar in colour. The Bobbi Brown is slightly more neon, but they are extremely similar in colour. The reason I don't wear this, and the reason I went back and bought the Chanel one after all, was just because it's the smell of the lipstick. It smells like crayon. It's a nice texture, and it stays on really, really well, but the smell just really puts me off. I don't know if it's all Bobbi Brown lipsticks that smell like this, but it just smells, I think I've got some on my nose then. It just smells really cheap, and obviously Bobbi Brown isn't really a cheap brand, so it kind of really disappointed me that it just smelled a bit gross. I don't like having weird smells under my nose. Next product is a MAC product, and this is the MAC Prep and Prime BB Cream. I bought the shade medium. I tried this on in the shop, and I kind of wanted to go for something that wasn't as heavy as a foundation, and something that would kind of help my skin throughout the day, especially in summer, because I think that, yeah, this has got SPF 30, which is really, really good. And I loved that it was kind of like a creamy consistency. I love a creamy consistency. But it's slightly too dark, that's one of the problems. Also, after about 2 hours, this goes so patchy. I don't know if it's just my skin, but this literally didn't last. And I know that BB creams are kind of meant to not really last as long as a foundation, but I have used some that have actually been really long lasting and actually kind of been competitors to my foundations. So this was actually a really huge letdown, and I was really, really disappointed in this because it looked flawless, but 2 hours later it just looks horrendous. The next product is a bit of a controversial one. This is a cult favourite worldwide, and this is one of these ones that everyone has it in their makeup bag and everyone raves about it, and I just don't get it. It's the YSL Touché. YSL is another one of those brands I've never really gotten on with. It's like Chanel. I really want to love it, but I just don't love it. The reason I don't really like the Touché is mainly because I just find that the concealer is a bit watery. It doesn't really do much for my skin. I feel like it hasn't really got enough coverage in it. And although I know it's meant to be more of a highlighter as opposed to a concealer, I just feel like it doesn't really contribute anything to my makeup, and it doesn't really do anything for me. And there are better concealers I've bought for around the same price and cheaper that, to be honest, really do a lot more for me. So I think this is one of those products that is very overrated in my opinion. Next we have another bronzer. This one is the Prairie Cellular Treatment. Oh, sorry, the brush just fell out then. The Prairie Cellular Treatment Bronzing Powder. This only comes in one colour, and firstly, look how beautiful the packaging is. This is an absolutely stunning product, but it comes out really, really dark on me. If you've got pale skin like me, then I don't think this is probably the right bronzer for you. Maybe when I've got a tan, it will look really, really nice. But for the price that I paid for this bronzer, Prairie is not a cheap brand. I think this was about £40 to £50 for this bronzer. And I just feel like I never use it because it never really looks quite right. I quite like my bronzer to be more subtle, which is why I tend to pick bronzers that have kind of more, that have bits of pink in them and kind of highlighters in them. There'll be a mixture of colours. I feel like when I have a bronzer that is literally just one colour like this, I feel like it just doesn't look as nice on my skin. This is the last Dior product, and this is a palette that I bought because I really wanted a neutral palette I could wear every day, and it would be like I'm wearing eyeshadow but it's not over the top. And this is number 30 in Incognito, and it's one of their 5 colour palettes. So you've got like a light pink, a purpley, a bronzy, an orangey nude, and then like a white. I feel like with this, it's just not very pigmented. I get this one for example, it looks really nice there, but as soon as I put it on my eyes, they just kind of are a bit wishy-washy. They're not really the best kind of colours, and I find them quite hard to blend as well. I feel like there's such a mix match of colours in here. It kind of doesn't really work for me as a palette. Like, I feel like if they were single colours, they'd be great, but I feel like as a palette, there's not really much you can do with it. I've tried to kind of blend a couple of the colours and they just don't really work overly great. Yeah, to me, I have better neutral palettes. I feel like this is it's just a bit of a meh palette. It's just so wishy-washy. I'm not really overly fussed with this one. Again, we have another YSL product. This is the YSL Top Secrets all-in-one BB cream, and I have the colour Clear. This one has an SPF of 25 in it as well. There was a time about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, this was sold out. I think it was definitely nationwide, it might have been worldwide, but YSL could not produce enough of this, and it was all because of a newspaper article that they did on this product. And I was working quite close to the counter at the time, so I could kind of, you know, see if they had any in stock and try it on the back of my hand. And when they finally got some in stock, that's what I did. I literally tried it on the back of my hand and I bought it because it looked amazing. But I didn't really have time to try it on my skin properly, and I really wish I did, because as much as it looks amazing on the back of my hand, I just feel like on my skin it doesn't complement my skin. It's slightly too pale, so it kind of washes me out to begin with. I just feel like it doesn't really give me enough coverage, which is fine because I know it's a BB cream, but there are BB creams with much better coverage that are a lot more flattering on my skin. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is this. This is a fragrance by Guerlain, and it's Eau de Fleur de Cedrat. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I can't really speak French. But yeah, this is a really, really beautiful fragrance, and it smells like champagne sherbet, and I love it so much. It is full-on champagne sherbet, but the thing that really, really annoys me about this is it just doesn't last. As beautiful as it looks and as amazing as it smells, it's gone within an hour to 2 hours. It really is awful in terms of longevity. And I'm going to be replacing this one when it runs out. I've just got a very tiny amount. I'm going to be replacing this one with the Dolce Vita by Dior, which smells like champagne sherbet too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you've had any experiences with any of these products, because I'd love to hear if you loved them or if, like me, you weren't a huge fan of them. And I really look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Bye!